Welcome back to the Berg Podcast. Thanks for joining us today. With me today is Dan
Hey, everybody.
and Ford,
Hey, how's it going?
and we're just checking in. Actually, it's been a little bit of time since we actually had one with no topic whatsoever, and see where the conversation goes.
I like when we start off the rails.
Yeah,
It can't be off the rails if there's no rails
there's
to
no
begin
topic
with.
though. You
It
can't
makes
be
my
off
job
the
way
rails.
easier.
Yeah, you can't be off the rails.
All right, let me just split this how it's going to go. There'll be
Yeah.
at least 14 sports references, some book reference, some podcast reference,
Okay.
and somewhere in between there will fit some conversation in.
Yeah. That sounds good. I feel like I'm like, oh, what is happening in my life? And there's like nothing. There's
Well, no,
nothing
we start with sports.
Yeah, besides sports.
Yeah,
that's
sports.
it. Yeah, I go work, sports, sleep, work, sports, sleep,
There you go.
and yeah, it's been a rough schedule for a couple.
You got, this is your last? No, you got one more. This is your last season with Aiden's what, a junior?
Aiden's a junior.
So you got one more
Yeah.
year left,
Yep.
realistically.
Yep. Yeah, if they'll continue to have me as the interim head coach,
It's hard to beat. It's hard to get a guy for a better number than you.
free is a good number. Yeah.
I'm learning much more about lacrosse just because now with Decker here too, you guys
Yeah,
are both doing
yeah.
it. Like the conversations when I walk past, it's usually something. If it's not related to numbers, it's
Yep.
related to. I'm like
Numbers or
"Oh,
lacrosse.
I might have to watch this game because now I even know what that guy's called. That's like what he does. I'm learning some things.
He's a long
Yeah.
stick midi. I don't know what that
A
does
long
exactly.
stick midfielder. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
plays the middle of the field, but
I
he
got
holds a
that
long
part.
stick.
I
so-
got that part. I just don't know that I can qualify to play it, but I
Yeah.
understand in principle.
Right. Yeah. No, it's that time of the year though. Spring is always rough. I mean, we practice. If we're not practicing every night, we've got a game every night, and we play like different than a lot of sports, right? So we play like 3, sometimes 4 days a week. So once we're actually into our game schedule, we actually practice fewer times than we play, which is a little unusual when it comes to sports. But yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I've created like a complete just disaster of a schedule with what I've done already, and
Mhm.
the girls are young. It's going to be if they.
Well, you
continue-
did this to yourself like 10 years ago.
I totally did this to myself.
Yeah.
I was actually just talking to somebody downstairs about this just because it's really funny. And this is why I'm trying really hard not to make predictive comments because in the old days, Dan did not come home during the summertime on the weekends. Like by Friday afternoon or Thursday afternoon, he was at the beach. And I remember there was a conversation at one point there. It was like, we're never going to change this schedule. Like the kids are going to have to like just be part of like our lifestyle. And we all try and do that. It's just
Right.
amazing how life creep happens. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, you going to, oh no, they got a soccer tournament over here,
So,
over there.
I'm going to qualify this and say this year it could be a little difficult because the coach is going to be really mad. But we're going to tell the union coach that they're not going to go to practice, but my girls will attend games if he wants.
Oh,
I don't think he's going to take it well.
that usually doesn't work out.
He
well.
might throw him off the team,
Mhm.
and I'm okay with that.
Oh.
But next year for it, I have a solution. The girls are playing Summer Select in New Jersey. So they're just going to play out of
There
Ocean
you
City,
go.
and then we're back in business
There you
again.
Just relocate.
They're just. I've
home
already.
base, relocate new home base.
I've already cleared it with all of their existing Pennsylvania coaches. All
Mhm.
summer play will be played in the state of New Jersey.
in New Jersey.
So you can go home again, apparently.
unless it's the beach blast. You're not doing that.
I don't want to do beach blast. That's a disaster. Charlotte's doing that this year. I'm not happy about it, but she says she's going to do it with one of her teams. And
Okay.
I feel like she's the worst candidate. She's Charlotte. If she was like if you made like a caricature of it, it would be like a bulldozer. Like that's, they wrote something about her in one of the things when they recognized her, and they said like once she steps on the field, her and the ball are going to the net, and you can stay there or get run over or end up but the ball is going to the net. She's like runs downhill, that kid.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I'm same boat as you. It's just sports.
Yeah.
At some point, I'll insert beach back into that
Yeah. sounds
soon.
good. And Ford's like in the background trying to like, how do I not end up in the same pattern with young
Yeah.
kids who aren't old enough to play sports yet? But
And I think I must worry Ford because and Ford, you tell me if I'm wrong here, but when Aaron and I first had Mara, Ford sort of, I don't want to use the word like marveled, but that's what it was. He was like, they're really not impacted. Like we pretty much stayed the same people. We would meet them for dinner.
Sure.
We didn't change our life with one kid as much as a lot of people do. And even with 2, we like held it together that we pretty much stayed the same. And then with 3, forget it. We couldn't do
Yeah.
that anymore. But now we're into this like full bore sports thing. And when you're competitive, Ford's competitive, I'm competitive, you're competitive. If your kids want to do it, it's really hard not to go full bore into it. So I don't know what Ford feels about this because he probably my life didn't look this disastrous with sports before Savannah was born.
No, it did not. And like, we like to travel. And so we've been trying to force a square peg through a round hole in these last couple times we went away. And there's really no reason for it. But you're like, we're not going to not do the things we want to do.
We like doing these things, and we want our kids to experience them. And yeah.
I was actually talking to Tamara yesterday, Ford, and we were talking about how you try and travel with kids. And I was saying, and I thought I was going to be judged by Tamara for it. And I said, when we used to go skiing to my uncle's house and her aunt's house, if we got a room when we had Mara, and even once we had Charlotte, we would just put the pack and play in the closet. Now I wouldn't close the closet, but it was like the only way I could have a pack and play in a tiny room and still have the room.
Right.
And so she was like, "Oh yeah, we do that." Savannah enjoys sleeping in the closet. Right? Was it Savannah? I think it was Savannah. Yeah, Savannah.
Well, it's nice and dark and quiet.
It's nice and dark and quiet. And I was like, and then in my head, I pictured in the old days when you see the pictures that they put the blankets in the dresser, then they would have the kid like that was the bed, And it's the truth. You're just trying to find a way to be a parent, and nobody gave you a handbook. And
we really didn't ever go anywhere unless we could go like to family, right? I mean, I maybe we were just young, didn't know how to handle it, but it started with Gavin. Gavin was like our wrecking ball, we couldn't go out to dinner. It was crazy. And I felt like that pattern existed for like 8 years, 10 years, where just, 3 years later we had another kid and we're like, oh, nope, never mind, staying indoors. No, same thing. Addie comes along. She actually was the easiest. I can't say anything about Addie stopping us from doing stuff. She was very easy, but
yeah, Mara was like the dream. Mara's the kid that makes you have more kids. She was so easy. I mean, I remember going to the movies with Mara. I don't think we took her to concerts, but we definitely took her to the movies. We would take her to dinner and you just put her chair down. She'd go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then we'd have dinner. It was amazing.
That's crazy.
And then we had Charlotte. It's not the same.
Not the same.
Not the same. Charlotte needs to be at the table as soon as she realized there was a table.
I remember. Yeah. And I don't know how we got here, but Aiden's always had a little bit of a temper. And, so he would do the craziest things when he decided he was like mad about something, right? We were at the New Holland Fair one time and we're like, all right, it's time to go. Like, we've spent the money we're going to spend, probably more on tchotchkes and games and funnel
cotton
cakes.
candy.
Yeah. And he's like, he was so angry and for no reason at all decided he's going to take his shoes off and throw them in the garbage can. I was like, they're your shoes, man. Like,
you got to walk home, not me.
Yeah, I don't know what you think is happening. Like, we're still leaving. You're just leaving without shoes now.
Without shoes.
Yeah, it's oh man.
That's a way back thought there.
That is, yeah. That one really. I don't know what you're talking about. Not being able to do stuff with kids. Man, I couldn't. My kid had a meltdown at the fair and threw his shoes away.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is Aaron and I were very stubborn about wanting to live, the life that we wanted to live.
Sure,
and a large part of that is the beach. That's a big focus in Aaron and I's life. And to this day, I mean, like Nora falls asleep. She crawls up to the hot sand and will lay in the sand with nothing. She might, if you're lucky, she'll bring a towel to put her face on and just go to sleep. Like all the kids sleep on the beach. They eat on the beach.
Yeah.
They know they're not going home. Like you're going to have to make it 6 to 8 hours. And, Ford's been down a few times and they're like, got to go back and forth and back and forth. I'm like, man, I would have never gone back and forth. I'm not, bring up
getting nightmares right there.
Yeah.
You pack all of this equipment, we'll call it politely, in the car. You haul it out to the beach. You set it up. An hour and a half later, with using none of it, you're bringing it back.
Yeah.
And you're just like, can I just stay at the house? Like, I don't even need this. Like, it's just like,
we'll touch on excavation here, Ford, because one of Aaron's tricks with me was we had this shovel, which since was stolen. There's no question. This is a shovel that was used to build her, like the shore house we have is 6th generation.
Sure.
The shovel was used to dig the limited footings that are under that house. Someone stole it this year. And I know it's stolen because I have a different shovel that's not mine that's in my garage. So somebody
traded it out.
Yeah, there's guys that do some work down there that know the code to my house. So they probably didn't realize they took the other shovel or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So we had to buy a new shovel. But Aaron would have me dig a hole that was generally about 4 foot by 4 foot and about 3 foot deep. So I'm going to say 3 foot because that's OSHA regulations and I'm aware of it. Otherwise, I've created a serious problem. And then we would just put the kids in it, and they would love it because they're playing in this muddy hole. But
Okay.
also, it was always tall enough they couldn't get out.
They were stuck.
Yeah, so-
Containment.
Containment unit. So Ford, you may want to bring
Spill
a shovel.
containment.
Just
Bring
build
the
a
shovel.
I don't know how big a shovel you'd have to have or a hole you'd have to dig to make sure Tamara couldn't get out and make you want to go home either. But maybe just bring like a 303. You know,
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
a small
There we go.
excavator,
Mhm.
dig a little hole. Mara, I don't know what we're going to do. We dug ourselves in this hole. We're just going to have to stay here.
We're
A
gonna
moat.
stay here.
Then you don't have to go home, Ford.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm always like, oh, everyone just take what they want, right? Everyone carries what they want for the
Right.
beach. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
It never works that way.
Well, like the last 2 times we've done beach things, she's like, well, don't you have a chair? I was like, I'm never going to get to sit in it anyways. I'm not wasting my time hauling it out there because you'll be having me chase somebody or do something. I'm not even going to try it. But
I used to take books to the beach.
Oh, yeah.
That's not real. You
Nah.
can't. You can't. With
it,
little.
used to be real,
Yeah.
like for me 5 to 7 years ago.
Oh yeah. You did a lot of reading at the beach, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of
22 books the one week I was down there. But yeah, it's just not a thing.
Yeah.
He's something.
Holy smoke.
And that wasn't even counting the newspapers. Yeah, that's for me. That's surfboards. I'm
Nah.
able to surf again now, but
Yeah.
you know, I mean, how old's Mara's 10? She's going to be 11. So for probably like 8 years, I brought my surfboard to the beach and probably surfed, twice a summer because I
Mm.
would every day I would bring it, and then
Hope
Now you
springs
do that,
eternal.
yeah, much like my chair that I never got to sit in.
Yeah.
I had a surfboard I didn't surf on and a chair I didn't sit in, but
Yeah.
many holes dug.
I
My
guess it's
kids
getting
are,
warmer, so we're thinking about the summertime.
Yeah,
there.
I'm starting to think about warm weather.
Yeah,
things.
it'd be nice.
I'm a little bit ahead of you guys here because my kids are now on the upper end of dependency, right? And they're
You got
actually
at least one adult.
they're really cool to hang out with now. I mean, I've always, don't get me wrong, I've always loved being with my kids, but now they're fun. Like now, like they want to go do stuff. Going away with them is really cool because they are independent enough that Allie and I can get out for dinner or whatever and not feel like the house is going to burn down. But police might show up.
Police
but,
might show up.
but the house isn't going to burn down.
I'm glad we could laugh about that now.
Oh yeah. I don't know. That story came up the other day. I can't even remember who I was with, and yeah, they were talking about kids getting into fights, and I was like, I could tell you a story about kids getting into fights.
Not your kid. He wasn't in a
He
fight.
was, no,
He was the promoter.
He was a promoter. He was a ringleader.
Yeah.
You know,
He's like the Don King of New Holland.
yeah, got invited to his own fight. It was so popular.
That's
Right?
when
That's
you know
his-
it's
that's
popular.
success.
When you get
People are-
invited to your own party
Yeah.
that they didn't even know it was your party, that's when you've succeeded.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Not declared on taxes. No money was collected.
No
officially.
money. No money was collected. No gambling.
So see, we're checking in, everybody. So,
I was actually just thinking, I don't even know where this goes from here.
yeah, I don't know where this goes. I don't know how long we've been talking.
We've got like a solid 10 minutes in, and we haven't talked about
No,
anything.
we covered
actually.
sports, multiple
Oh,
sports.
okay.
Ford
Well,
said
that's
sports.
true.
We haven't talked about any podcasts. We could talk
No,
about
we talked about
construction.
reading though. Yeah,
Reading. We could talk about Construction Genius. Everybody wants me to read the book, listen to the podcast.
Yeah, have you
I have not.
done either?
I have not done either. I feel
No.
like I'm left out of the loop now. I mean, I
have
everybody
to-
I walk by basically says, I think my phone is going to start it might buy it. It could be it could be
Yeah.
Did a
delivered.
little ding
right now.
happen? Did
Yeah.
Amazon saying there's a
Yeah,
smiley
it's
face
been-
on your
it's
front
been
porch?
delivered.
Yeah, it's been delivered.
Delivered to your electronic device.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have not. I just with the way my time is consumed right now, I have not spent much time listening to podcasts or anything of that nature.
Ford, you're
Yeah.
going to have to carry us in this one. You're like the king of podcasts.
I know. Yeah. What's good? Is there anything new?
I am,
That
but
you-
I'm actually on another one right now, and so
Alright.
like I got a couple of his in queue.
Okay.
He has some really great things. Eric Anderton, some I can't quite like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like Anderson, but that's not the way
It's
he
not it,
pronounces
yeah.
or whatever it is. He usually has some great content, but there's some times where I have to kind of maybe jump over one or two just because of some of the stuff that he's got going on.
Have you found any new podcast you're really enjoying?
Yes, so Entree Leadership,
Oh.
which has been around for a long time.
Sure.
But they changed it. It used to kind of be, an interview of some air quotes expert and then kind of just like a whatever.
Sure.
But the host took it back over and is just doing business related questions.
Okay.
It only comes out once a week. It's only 1 hour. It's not like one of these where you're like getting overloaded. But when I was driving back from out of town for 16 hours, I did get to consume quite a few podcasts. Like my own vehicle, I didn't even realize that my XM had expired.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Now it's like I just jump in and a podcast usually pops up, and then
It starts playing.
I was talking to somebody and they were like in their 20s, and I was like, "Oh yeah, podcast." And like, "Yeah, that's for old people." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh,
What do kids listen to?
I
Maybe they
don't-
do the podcast on the 1.5. I hear if you like speed it up or something, it makes it quicker. I don't
Wait,
understand.
they listen to it
They
faster?
listen to it fast. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know this.
Mm.
Yeah. that's
I-
like Dan's
I
like,
mean,
"Oh, I
I'm
found a
old.
new way to do this now. I can get through these things."
I mean, I could listen to it at 3 or 4
Yeah.
times speed. I mean, if it's just then I'm just checking a box, aren't I?
I can't get Allie into podcasts, but she loves audiobooks.
Okay.
Yeah, she listens to books constantly while she's doing
Yeah.
stuff around the house. Like, yeah.
You know what Erin listens to in the car?
Hmm.
Quiet.
Oh,
Ah.
Yeah, anytime she can. If she's lucky enough to be
Just
without
silence.
I mean, she loves her kids. But
Yeah,
if,
right.
to your point, if she's lucky enough to be alone and it be quiet,
sure.
she just wants it to be quiet, which drives me nuts.
Yeah, that would drive me crazy.
Yeah,
I can't
so I'm
do
not-
quiet.
But if we're together, we're normally in my vehicle because I
Yeah.
would never drive in a minivan.
Okay.
And so then we just listen to what I
We
want.
had a minivan for a long
I
time.
know
It's-
everybody loves minivans.
I mean, I don't know if I would say I ever loved the minivan, but it was the right car.
Mm.
I mean, the seating, the space.
Practicality.
Yeah,
Did I hear the new ones actually have vacuums built into them or
They
something
did- that
like
was
that?
a Honda thing.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, that was a
Is
Honda
for
thing.
real?
See, Ford's acting like he would accept this. If we talked about gambling before, if we want to talk about gambling, I'll put money. The only way Ford would own a minivan is if I bet enough money to make it worth it for him to buy it, to win the money, to sell the
Okay, to
minivan.
sell it
Because he would
yeah.
never be in it. And Tamara, there's no way she'd be in a
No,
minivan. That would
no,
never happen.
Not
I think
into
that's
it.
usually the minivan fight. As much as we all would like to say that we get involved in that, usually it depends on what the perspective of the person that would
Yeah.
drive it a lot is.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
I mean,
Well-
that day that happens at my house.
Yeah. For
it's
us, it
tough.
was the third kid.
right.
So the third kid made anything like normal, like any mid-sized sedan, SUV, anything in that nature. Just especially at the time, it made it
Well,
impossible.
third rows weren't
So,
as
no.
nearly as popular back then. I mean, third rows are
No,
what have been the
yeah.
last 5 years. Now all vehicles have third rows, but before that, they didn't do that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, exactly. I mean, we had I think when Addie was born, I think I was driving like a Ford Explorer.
You had
and,
the what was the white or green one that was at, because that was when you were at Northwest, right?
it was like a reddish color. like
Okay,
a
because
more-
you had
but-
one, you had an Explorer. I remember when you were
Yeah.
working there at
Yep.
the Northwest.
Yep, exactly. And that didn't have like a third row. I don't even know if third row existed when we bought
Yeah.
that car. But yeah, it was.
Well, it's funny because they stopped it, right? Back in the day, they had, when we were younger, they had those station
we had
wagons.
third rows. We were
the
facing the
station
wrong
wagon, you
direction.
faced the wrong direction.
Right, faced the wrong
Yes, yeah,
direction.
yeah.
But then they got rid of that, and then
Yeah.
you went to 2 rows, and then we felt similar. Aaron, that's what
Right.
triggered Aaron was the third kid. It was just
Yeah, it-
too much, but I won't.
Well, the
Yeah.
logistics of it, I can understand. So, look, we have this, we're really off, but we have this one car seat now. And then they finally figured out that the car seat rotates
uh-huh.
so that you can put the child in and you're not trying to, like
Reach all the way over and around. Yeah, we didn't have that. We would. Yeah.
no. So you see, like, the sliding door pops open, you have full access. Like, there's logistical things that make it a good idea. But,
Mhm.
yeah.
He's close.
Right. I
He's
feel
close.
like
surprising
Yeah.
here.
it sounds very agreeable to the
Yeah.
idea of except for purchasing.
I'm gonna
Listen,
enjoy
I understand that our demographics that listen to this, there's probably 85% of them that have minivans.
That's
Yeah.
maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. We have to. Maybe we do a
poll.
poll.
Can we do? Yeah,
We
have to
can't do
figure
a
out how to
live poll. We haven't figured that out yet.
No,
But maybe
yeah.
we talk to Tracy or Blair, get them to put out a poll.
We put on a poll and then we answer.
If
that.
you have a
It's good.
family and if you have over 2 children,
All right.
do
So
you have
is
a
this
minivan?
if you own a minivan, or if the man claims that he would it's his minivan, or he will ride in it? Because
No, if you own one.
wait, you have to. Yeah,
I have to own it myself. Aaron
Own
owns
or
our-
have owned.
Like, what if
Right.
Aaron owns it and I don't?
If
It's
it
in-
parks in your driveway,
Oh, Ford, I might need to sell the minivan. Aaron's going to be real unhappy when she finds out I sold the minivan.
You gotta claim it. You have to claim it if it parks in your driveway.
All right. Well, I got to get rid of it then.
it's parking next door. Why? I have to finish the poll out.
Aaron, park out back or
Can
something.
you? Can you not park that in our
Yeah,
driveway
don't park
anymore?
that
Yeah.
in the driveway anymore.
Oh, jeez.
Well, no, and then also with like vehicle costs now too.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I mean, before if you had different vehicles for stuff, and I was talking to a girl from Argentina, and like in Argentina, families, if you have one vehicle, that's like a blessing.
Yeah.
And if you have more than one vehicle, that's like a thing.
Right. Yeah.
And, we all have multiple vehicles, whether we use them all a lot or maybe they're not running or we're trying to rehab them or do something to them. But we
Sure.
all have
Mhm.
multiple vehicles
Sure.
in our world just because of how things happen.
Yeah, and then we've got some young drivers in our family, so like I feel like it's a used car parking lot. Sometimes I'm like, geez, can we move some? Can we get some of these?
Can you park down the street too? I need
Yeah,
to
can you
walk
put
back.
that around the corner.
Yeah, I've started to get to that point where Mara's going to turn 11 soon.
Okay.
I'm like starting to get to the point where I'm like, oh man, she's have a car. I
She's
don't
gonna
know how
block me in.
11. I don't know if you're not.
But I start
yeah.
to feel.
You're
I start
starting
to like
think about
consider
though?
it. Yeah, I'm starting to consider it. Like just would she be? Well, the other day I think I told you that this is a while ago now, maybe a month ago. She tried to get me to. She tried to convince me she should drive the car.
Oh, well.
Yeah, she said we're not even on the road. We're on like an access
You
road.
need a go-kart. You need a go-kart.
Yeah, I know. We talked about
We
this.
talked about the go-kart,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I think a go kart would be fun.
Yeah, that's the question. Who's driving it? The kids or Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a little
Yeah.
parental supervision.
Yeah.
I wanna supervise.
Yeah.
She tried to convince me that she should drive. So
Yeah, the go-kart. Doing things with that you have to steer and drive, and you can power on your own, but can't get you in too much trouble. I think it's actually like a really important step in learning how to operate.
Yeah,
a vehicle,
I agree.
Right? Like,
It doesn't have like blades swinging underneath of it that
Yeah,
could chop
right.
things off. I mean, it's got a roll cage on most of them,
Yeah,
so you're
right.
fairly safe.
right? Yeah. I mean, I remember being younger. We had a little go-kart, and it had like this fiberglass shell on it that looked like a Subaru Brat.
ooh,
Yeah,
Wow.
it was cool, and but honestly, like you figure out how to like not get into too much trouble and know where the limits are, and I think that does help
Yeah,
you.
Well, I'll give you a story about that. So we had a golf cart at our house for a little while one year,
Yeah.
and my nephew and niece came down, and he was like 14. He's like, "Oh, can I drive that golf cart?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, what's a golf cart go? Like 5 miles an hour at its
Right.
best."
Yeah,
He drove it into a tree. But to your point,
right.
he's never driven anything in his life. Like
Yeah.
he didn't even like. I'm kind of like, well, my daughter's 2 and she knows how to steer something to not hit something, like.
Right,
But it's just
yeah.
it wasn't like you're saying. It's a small progression towards possibly driving a vehicle on a road with going 70 miles an hour.
Well, and like I think it helps develop like
Spatial.
coordination, spatial awareness.
yeah. That's. I think I've told you this before that we used to we would build like a little racetrack in my grandma's field
Yeah,
back in
yeah.
Jersey, and we would started out with
4-wheelers or no
It started out with go-karts.
go-karts.
And then, we added in dirt bikes
Yeah.
and a quad. And
Then old
eventually-
pickup trucks.
And well, to be honest, we started with old pickup trucks,
Okay.
not a go-kart.
Yeah.
But then, you drive an old pickup carefully because you don't want something bad to happen,
Sure.
I guess. And
Maybe.
but eventually the greatest one was there was a race on this track, and it was a dirt bike, my truck, my brother, who's, significantly 12 years younger than me, driving his go-kart, and my sister's boyfriend in an Eclipse.
An Eclipse.
Yes, the Eclipse had to be towed afterwards.
Oh, that
There
didn't
was no
make it.
accident, but it was not apparently an off-road vehicle.
Not built for
It was not
dirt
built for
track.
drifting around that
Yeah.
track. So his dad was real unhappy.
I can imagine. Yeah, getting that phone call.
Well, Justin's little brother, Garth, who I grew up with as well, he had one of the old Bronco 2s, which
Oh.
was like the small Broncos.
Mhm.
And like they would go out farm jumping in like the fields and stuff like that. And there was definitely a couple times where the chains had to be to get that thing out of there, get it running
Yeah.
again. But the farm I worked at growing up, they used to get the little, like, they're called like Datsuns. I think they were like smaller than an S10.
Okay.
And they're like 2-wheel drive and they're like, whatever, really tiny. And they would use them around the farm as transportation
Sure.
out to the fields. Well, the fun part was after a while, if they got damaged, they would cut the cap off. Like, so you literally were driving a convertible pickup truck. Some of them didn't even have doors on them anymore, but they got you between point A and point B. But you
Right.
had to go down the farm lane, and one side of the farm lane was the storm ditch, and the other side was the field.
The
So
field, you navigate that
you
road.
better get there.
Yeah, I remember. I'm the oldest in my family of all the grandkids, and I remember when I was real young, one of the neighbors had a go-kart that we would drive. And we had this racetrack built on the 7 acres plus the 5 next door. And you would loop out behind one of the houses, and you would cut out on the Old Marlton Pike, which wasn't a busy road, but it was a state highway.
Right.
And you'd like come buzzing out of this guy's yard, and then you'd cut back in. And I definitely missed that turn once and just completely T-boned a tree coming back into the
jeez,
driveway with it, and we had to bend it back. But my uncles honestly were the one that started this in this field, and they used to drive pickups, the old pickups.
Yeah.
And they were just like, you're talking, my uncles are born in the late 50s, early 60s. And so it's like 50s, 60s pickups. And I remember those trucks still being where it was that they finally gave out as a kid. Because my uncle, was like 16 when I was born. So, but I remember being like 4 or 5, and there was like a pickup that looked like it had been in a war because it was like this
Demo derby.
derby in
Oh,
the
yeah.
field. Like,
Yeah.
so.
I remember I think I was 15, 16. I bought my first four-wheeler. I'd saved up money and bought a four-wheeler. And rode it all around my parents' place and whatever did. And we had this one mud puddle, so you got to do the spin outs.
Oh yeah.
So we were having friends over, and I was playing around with this when they got there. And I was like, oh, people can ride four-wheeler, whatever. They literally get there. I spun around, hit a dry patch, and went flying off the thing. Nobody wanted to ride a four-wheeler. I still don't know why.
you showed them all the hazards.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The most fun we had though, honestly, was the dirt bike. It's still that dirt bike is still in Jersey. I have the DRZ 450.
Oh, nice.
That's back there. And we would just at the end of the day, like I jumped it. We would do other things with it. My favorite thing to do was to drag the length of that property. So you'd either start at the old pine trees and race through the whole field before you hit the road. And then you'd have to like lock it up and downshift to slow back down, or then you'd come back. And we'd just drag race. My brother had a Raptor and I had the DRZ.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd be like going 70 miles an hour with trees, 100 feet in front of you as you try and like downshift and lock the brakes to slow down and cut the wheel enough to turn back around. I don't know what Erin would do. What do you think Erin and Tamara would do if we suggested the girls do this?
Well,
I don't think they sell enough bubble wrap on Amazon to deal with this issue.
yeah.
I mean, I still have 10 fingers, 10 toes.
Hey,
I mean, we all do.
Fortunately.
Well, not all. I've met quite a few people out here that don't.
No, right, yeah.
But that's more a machine issue than
That's a farming issue.
that's a farming issue.
My kids now, I make them wear the helmet when
All
they
right.
ride the go-kart. I didn't growing up, but
I'm not even going to get started on this conversation
I'll
because
make
people
them-
listen to this. But
I make them wear the helmet. So, but yeah, I think it's been good. Addie doesn't enjoy it. She loves being in the go-kart. I don't think she loves driving it as much as the boys used to when they were older. That's probably just a difference in interests. But
Buddy Ben, who was on the podcast a while back, for Christmas he bought his kid one of those like Honda 50s, which are like the baby dirt bikes.
Yeah.
Well, his daughter's old enough, but his boys aren't quite old enough. But he bought it. I mean, it's because like, oh, I'm gonna teach my kids.
Yeah.
So he brings it out to the neighbors, and like I'm like watching him. He's like riding it back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Well, I brought it out here with him, but they aren't really interested. So he was just driving
Just
the
doing loops. Yeah.
Did he have his helmet on?
I
Did Ben have
told
the helmet on?
It was far enough away I couldn't see.
Oh,
Wink,
yeah.
wink.
We bought one of those off. It was a Suzuki, but we bought one off friends when Gavin was young. And I told him that when he learned how to ride a bicycle without training wheels, he could have a little dirt bike, right? And he was like super motivated by this, and like but I think before he turned 5, he was riding his bike without training wheels because he wanted to ride that dirt bike. So we don't have a very big yard. You ride around the basin, like up the hill and down the hill and around the back. But yeah, that thing, we rode it in circles. Just
Yeah, I haven't pushed the motorcycle thing
Yeah.
at all with the girls, just because I mean I know where Erin, I'm not supposed to be on a motorcycle, so I know where Erin would stand with the girls. But at some point, Mara will be like 16, and it's gonna be hard to teach her then. But
mhm.
16, 17, I feel like she'll be outside of Erin's purview of what we're allowed to do.
The scooter or the moped, it's pretty good because Gavin would.
Speaking of which, where is the? I have not seen the scooter in the parking lot for a while.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Brian to pull up on Gavin's bike.
I've considered it a couple times, especially when maybe as the weather gets warmer and he's in classes. Yeah, I ride it around. I run errands with it sometimes.
Pull
just to-
wheelies on it.
I don't do any wheelies.
Yeah.
No wheelies. It's not my style.
Yeah.
But
I could get Coke Grazioli to come in. He could teach you, no problem.
you could show me how to do
Oh, yeah.
wheelies. And maybe I could sit on the handlebars, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, for sure.
You can even ride underneath of a piece of equipment driving
could.
down the road.
Yeah, I think yours will fit. The best way to find out if it fits underneath
it.
of a piece of equipment is go 70 miles an hour right at the piece of equipment.
Right at it. Yeah.
If you come out the other side and your head's still attached,
fit.
it
Yeah,
fit.
It fits. Okay.
You can like YouTube something, Google that. You can find that video if you want.
Yep. I don't even want
The link will not be in the bottom of the show notes for liability purposes.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
So I think I don't know. Have we covered everything?
I can't
I don't know what
remember-
we covered exactly,
Can't
but
remember what was on Ford's list
So-
of projections of
Yeah.
topics, but I feel like we circled around all of it.
Guys, this
So
doesn't help you at all
There's
with
no-
excavation.
there's nothing useful in this one
No,
at all.
If you're going to have kids, you're going to end up having to
Driving a
adjust your
minivan.
life.
Yeah.
Someone in your family is probably going to have to drive a minivan if you exceed 2 kids, which is probably accurate.
Yeah.
Ford listens to lots of podcasts, and do not get in a competition reading books with him.
Yep. For sure.
Dan has done lots of stupid things.
Stupid things.
Brian enjoys coaching for free.
I like. Yep. Yeah. I think
Ford's going to try and figure out how to travel with kids and
travel
buy
with
stock in
kids
bubble wrap.
and
Yes.
bubble wrap. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's it.
Cool. Well, that sums it up.
We could have done this podcast in 3 minutes. We just did that and walked out.
Well,
Maybe you'll return to the next podcast
I
and
was just
listen to
going to
us.
say,
Maybe.
I don't know if you're coming back or not after this one, but thanks for joining us, and we hope you come back. Have a good one.